When we last left off, Shalmaneser V had learnt of King Hosea's betrayal, so he rallied together an army and headed for the nation of Israel. Hi, I'm your host, Knight Jake, and welcome to Bible Wars. Seeking to free himself from Assyria, King Hosea of Israel reached out to So, the king of Egypt. King So of Egypt has been identified as Pharaoh Assyrian IV. This alliance would have been beneficial for both Egypt and Israel. But for whatever reason, most likely a lack of resources, Egypt did not send their support. Some historians believe that Pharaoh Assyrian IV did later send some troops to assist the resistance, but we will mention that in the upcoming episodes. Shalmaneser V rallied his troops and marched towards Israel. His father Tiglath-Pileser III had conquered all the land north of the Valley of Jezreel. This valley stood as the gateway between the land that had previously been conquered by Assyria and the remaining land of the Israelite kingdom. To the west of Jezreel was the Kishon River, and to the east was a branch river of the Jordan River. This meant that there was only a thin strip of land in the middle which Shalmaneser would have to pass through in order to invade Israel. Any army that wished to pass through Jezreel would have to funnel their army through this small strip of land. This meant that Assyria could not use their large armies to overwhelm Israel, for both armies would have to funnel their troops through this small valley. This would restrict fighting to only a small handful in the front line. This made war very difficult, but it meant that this area was easy to defend and would give the defenders an advantage. This is why Jezreel became the final stronghold of Israel. This also meant that in order to repel the invasion, Israel only had to defend Jezreel. Thus, Hosea rallied the entire army of Israel and marched to Jezreel. Here, at Jezreel, on this small strip of land, in the middle of two rivers, the Israelites and the Assyrians engaged in a bloody battle. The fate of Israel depended on this victory. According to Hosea chapter 1 verse 5, it is here, at Jezreel, that the Lord broke the bow of Israel. That is to say, it is here that God handed over Israel to their enemies. Israel had committed adultery against the Lord by putting their faith in false gods and foreign powers. They had worshipped Baal, Asherah, and the golden calves. They had sought the help of Aram Damascus, Egypt, and even Assyria, instead of calling on the help of the Lord. The Israelites had indulged in sexual sins, creating an economic system of prostitution. The men of Israel ran after prostitutes, and the women of Israel willingly turned to a life of prostitution. Israel had become a mess of sexual perversion. Women were raised to think that by becoming a temple prostitute, she was serving her God and her nation. Amos chapter 2 verse 7 states that the sexual immorality had become so bad that a man and his father would go into the same girl, which was forbidden in the Levitical law. In addition, the word here is narah, which refers to a young maiden or virgin. This was a girl of marrying age, but still considered to be a young, pure virgin. For all of this wickedness, God handed Israel over to the Assyrians. Thus, here at the Valley of Jezreel, Shalmaneser V defeated the army of Israel. Any survivors fled south back into the nation of Israel. These men could run, but they could not hide. For now that Shalmaneser had captured Jezreel, he had full access to the nation of Israel. By capturing Jezreel, Shalmaneser had opened the gate to the northern kingdom. He could now funnel his military into the nation and conquer it once and for all. According to 2 Kings chapter 2 verse 5, Shalmaneser locked Hosea in prison before invading the land. It was common for kings to go out to war with their armies, and Hosea would have been there at Jezreel, leading his army against Assyria. Once the Israelite army had been routed, Shalmaneser was able to capture Hosea and carry him off to Assyria. Hosea was bound and imprisoned. Shalmaneser funneled his troops into Israel, beginning the Second Assyrian Conquest. However, this conquest would not be as easy as Shalmaneser had thought, and he would spend the last 3 years of his life attempting to conquer Israel. Join us next time as we discuss Shalmaneser's invasion of the Kingdom of Israel. Thank you for watching this episode of Bible Wars. If you enjoy the Bible Wars YouTube series or any of the other work done by the Order of Knight George, you can support us by going over to our Patreon page. I'll leave a link to our Patreon page in the description below. Goodbye and God bless.